Ay, Diosito. And we're going live. We are going live. Now, 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 now. No, no, now, now, now. This is the last stream of 2021. This is the last stream of the year. And it's gonna be a jolly one. It's gonna be so fun. Don't over promise, Pablo. Don't build so much hype because then people are gonna be disappointed in you. Hi. Hello. This is the last stream of the year. And it's going to be fun because it's one of those, again, I've been doing some, wow, what's going on with mine? Just got to let it all out. So today we're going to be working on something that has been on my mind for some time now. And this is on creating the system for buildings. Important part of building the microverse is like the different buildings are going to be in the different maps. Like, for example, each main, well, each macroverse. Wait, what? First you said microverse, and now you're saying macroverse. So the little towns, little maps where different things get connected. I'm calling them macroverses now for now. But let's say maps. And these need buildings, just like, hey, the museum, the entertainment center, the town hall, the apartment building, little houses, the shop, the airport, the transportation, the space station. All those need little buildings so you can go interact with them, and then they will take you to another microverse through a portal. So today we're going to start building the system for this. And these, what does a building need? They need windows, they need walls. And actually, let's take a look at our agenda for today. We're going to start building the illustration system for the buildings. And these need windows, doors, walls, like the front-facing walls, and then the roof. Because again, like since it's 2D, but a 2D that you can only see the front and the top, you need those two things. Wow, I need to clean my the magic of doing live streams. Front walls, roofs, and I think that there's an opportunity to create a system so all these elements are reusable. So that way, whenever I create a shop, for example, a store, I don't have to do it all from scratch. I can just reuse windows. I can reuse the door, put some little trees around, and boom, we got a shop. So yeah, like I like first thinking of the big picture and just like how the buildings are going to work, and then go into the little details, just like the basic MVP details that we're going to need just to start building the buildings, start building them, and then you realize like, oh, I need a window that looks like this. Go back to the system, add another window. Oh, I need a door that actually opens from the left, not from the right. Add it to the system. But you start small, and by starting small and starting thinking in systems allows you to make it in a really scalable way. What are you talking about, Pablo? Just start building. So we are in a chat, and if you are here on the YouTubes, there's a little chat here, and I would love you if you just tell us where you're visiting us from, to say hi, tell us a little bit about you. And you know what? You know what will be nice? What do you expect to learn from this stream? What is it what are your expectations? And later I'll come back to the chat and see if your expectations were met or if you were just fully disappointed. Pablo, hydrate. Yeah, you know what? That was a problem. John Murphy, I tried. Hold on, let me share the chat so people can see what I'm talking about. So Sean Murphy is like, Pablo, you're not hydrating. The problem is that I was hydrating and the water went through the wrong pipe, and then started like coughing. Very pleasant sound. Coughing straight to the microphone, right? Very pleasant. You want to record it and use it as a ringtone, I'm pretty sure. Oh, my mom is calling. Hello, Mom. I didn't click the button. Hello. Okay, let's get started. Oh, by the way, this is my setup. How cool is this? Yo. There's no lag. I love it. This is OBS. I usually use OBS, Open Broadcast System, for streaming, and it's pretty cool because it allows you to you see here the scenes. I have different scenes. The screen where I'm sharing the screen, agenda. This takes me to the agenda. Also, just me. That's just me. And also the intro screen. Sometimes I have like an image like this, and it would just be the intro screen while I'm getting started. Okay, Pablo, we're here to do illustrations, not to learn about OBS. Whatever. Okay, so let me take you through the thinking of this. Like, I started sketching like how the buildings look, and as you can see, the perspective of the buildings, everything is in 2D. It's actually kind of like 2.25D. It's not exactly 2D. It's 2D because it's flat. And it's not with 3D objects, but there's some depth to the elements. And since you can see the front and the top, then there's a little bit of 3D around it. Because, like, for example, a character, I will want it to be like it's in front of it. Actually, this is a good example here. I want it to be look like it's in front of this, right? But also, I want it to be looking like it's behind here. Oh, well, I suppose I didn't include it here. I want it to be like it's behind the island, the little island. So I want it to be behind the island. So that means that there's a little bit of a third dimension there, because there's a little bit of depth and just like things that are tall. There's a C index, but it's all flat. So it's kind of like 2.25D. That's exactly 2.24. Let's go back to the buildings. The buildings, as you can see, pretty simple, pretty minimal. They are a representation of what's inside. You know, for example, a little building like this, once you enter, it could actually open up and be a pretty big building, like an interior that is pretty big. But from outside, you don't need to have a one-to-one representation of the building. It just needs to have just like how it might look. And actually, I started like putting together just like the scale of it, like on the Microverse, like on the units and everything. I'm using like a scale of each unit is 300 by 300, or character in the Microverse is 1 by 1 unit. So I need to build everything and design everything to the proportions of the character. So for example, here, obviously, this looks like, if you actually like literally looks like a really small space, right? It's a little house. But once you enter, pow, it expands. That's the idea. And you can see like, for example, Mario Bros. Super Mario Bros. Like when you go into the map and everything, it's just like a representation of the world inside. Once you enter, then it's like a full-on castle. You know, it's huge. But from the map, it just looks like a little castle. So that's the idea here. And so we're going to be starting to build the system for this. And I'm going to stop talking about the ideas. Oh, no, hold on. Let me show you. Like, for example, like another thing that is important for the world is like nature. So we have started working on the nature elements, like rocks and stuff. It's all a mess right now. It's messy. Don't look at it. Don't look at the details. Right now, it's a huge mess. Like, for example, we started like working on the interiors, like all the elements that you'll be able, because like every roboto will have a space like this, and they will be able to just like put together their own space. See how this is a representation of a house inside? This is not. This looks huge, like compared to how it looks outside. So, but the idea is just like starting to build the system for all the things. So, for example, here, a chair, you want it to look from the front, from the back, from the side, from the other side. and so on. And just like the same with like tables. But these like when you rotate them, since they're square, they look the same. A book is interesting because like you might put a book on top or on the side, on just like laying on the side, and so there are many different angles. And I would say this like this is we are a team of designers now, and we're working on it as a team. So like I don't know, it's pretty exciting, and we're looking for a designer to join us. So if you're looking, like, go to my Twitter and you're going to see that I posted something about if you're a product designer, UX designer, an illustrator, we're looking for you. Oh my God. Start. Are you going to design or not, Pablo? Yes, let's start designing. So let's go with our building. I'm going to put these buildings. I just like sketch 3 buildings. And I think this is going to be good just to start like working on the details of the elements. So let's just start with just the door. Just a little door, an entrance to another portal, to another place, to a magical place. Let's go all the way to 300. I usually like putting stuff on 190. Let's divide it by 8. That's so 24 by 8. I like doing stuff on an 8-pixel grid. I don't know why. I think for some reason, like we all started thinking that the 8-pixel grid was the holy grail. Holy grid. Holy grail. I combined grail with grid in my mind, and suddenly I said the holy grail. Anyway, the holy grid of product development, usually you will do it in 4 or 8 pixels. And I just like stuck with that, and I like it. It's a good way to just keep things consistent. So we have our door, and let's just start like thinking about the door. We want to see the front, but also the top. So for it to have some depth, we want to see some parts of it from the top, just like the entrance to it like might need some depth. So for example, we have the basics of it, but we might want let's add like a border around it, right? You know what? Let me actually just start with a square one, like before we go with the round one, because let's just start with easy first. So we have a square one. This is a door. I'm going to make it a little bit taller. I think let's do 20 by 8. Let's add a little bit taller. Oh, I duplicated that. And you know what? Let's make them a little bit also shallower, like narrower. And okay, we have our starting point. Now I'm going to duplicate this little dude, and I'm going to add a frame around it, and I'm going to add a stroke. And by the way, like so we have these duplicates. I created just a color palette that we're going to be using for everything now. So as you can see, like every color palette has 10 tonalities, and that will allow me to just like add depth and light, will allow us to just like create really rich elements with a lot of colors. So let's make this. I'm going to use orange and orangey, just an orange door, and I'm going to do the frame around it is going to be a little bit lighter. Let's go with this, and 1 2 1 2 3 4. Let's center it, center into the bottom, and 1 2 1 2 3 1 2, and there you go. So now we have a frame. So we have the basics of this. Now let's add something to open this door, just a handle, maybe 24. Let's go all the way to 24, just a chunky door opener. I don't know, is that how you call it? The door opener? The handle? Wow. The knob? Dos, tres. I cannot speak English. As you can see, my English is muy malo. Now, okay, so that looks pretty 2D. Let's add the 2.25D that I was telling you about. Let me actually just copy this, just the style here. And let's add a stroke to all of these. Let's add a stroke to. Let's add a stroke of orangey. And that's another thing, that now the strokes are not going to be black. They're going to be just like a dark version of the color, of the original color of the shape. So just like around 800 is pretty dark. It's nice. And also it's 4 pixels, 4 pixels in the center. We want it in the center. Perfección. Bonito. Now let's duplicate this dude and let's, well, hold on. Did I duplicate it? Am I not duplicating? What am I doing? Command D, duplicate. Let's put it all the way here and see. Now it has a little bit of depth. Just a tiny little bit of depth. Now we can go and just like add a little bit of color here. And now it looks like there's light on top of it, right? And now I'm going to duplicate this dude too, and I'm going to say that the height of it's only 8 pixels. Let's put it all the way to the bottom. And see, now it has a little bit of depth, this one too. And I'm going to copy this style actually. And paste. There you go. So it has just a tiny little bit of depth. I'm really liking it. And let's see if we already have a shadow. 8 pixel. Let's go with this maybe. No, this is a blur. Let's add a shadow. And this drop shadow is going to be 8 pixels down. So, well, actually 4 pixels. Let's remove the blur, 0 blur. And it looks pretty flat. Kind of flattish. And I think what we can do is just like add some light to it too. So let's add an inner shadow on top of it. And this is going to be 0 here, and it's going to be like that. Let's go all the way to 8 pixels. And instead of this, let's do it. Actually, I already have something. 8 pixel inner. Wow, not great. Let's break it apart, and let's remove the X. No X. There you go. Doesn't look that great. Doesn't look that great. Let's add another shadow here, a drop shadow, and wow, I'm just taking so long just to do this. There you go. It's okay. It's good. I like it. So we have a door. It's an okay-ish door. Not the best door, but it's a start. It's just a start, okay? So now let's go ahead and turn this into a component, okay? So we have a component, and let's call it door. Let's call it doors. The doors. And now one thing that we want is we want to be able to just like make this door small and big. Right now, everything is just at scale. So it creates this like really weird stretching. We don't want that stretching to happen. We want elements to, and let's actually do this. See how even they just shrink down or they stretch? We don't want that. And for that, we're going to go ahead and do here instead of scale. Everything by default is going to be, I'm going to say that it's pinned to the top and to the left. Okay, so that's one. But now this element, see how, let me see if I can select it. This element, see how it's like this, but then this just stays like that? That's because it's just only pinned to the top and to the left and is not reacting to the sides. We don't want that. We want it to react to the sides, but we want it to react the right way. And to do that, let's actually first put the handle and let's actually center it. It's pinned to the left, but aligned to the center. So, and actually, you know what? Before doing that, I'm going to just put a better size of this. So this is going to be your test of seeing if things are going the right way. Now, this little dude and this dude, I think we want it to be also pinned to the right. There you go. And yeah, and this one is also pinned to the right. Let's see that. And then this one is pinned to the bottom and pinned to the right. And this one should also be pinned to the bottom. And this one should also be pinned to the bottom. And let's see how it looks. There you go. And well, apparently this guy is not pinned to the right. Let's to the left. Let's pin it to the left. There you go. So now we have a component that is resizable. So we have a door that, we want it big or small. Not exactly what we want. Something is going on there. This dude, it's pinned to the bottom. And sorry, it's not pinned to the bottom. We want it to pin to the bottom. And you know what's going on? Is that it's like really tall. And actually this, since it's the light up there, it should only be this size. There you go. There you go. Now, let's resize this. Oh, baby. Baby, baby. Oh, baby, baby. Look at that. Sometimes there will be a minimum size of this because it gets to a point where, like, okay, number one, this is a really narrow door. No roboto is going to enter there. So there's a minimum size of it. Roboto's city regulations might not allow you to create a door this small, but so it has to be something like this. But at least now we get the idea of like how things can be scalable. They can be and react to the size on context. So in context, I can just make it big or small and will look nice. So we have a door. We have our first door, baby. Oh, yeah. Now let's create some variants. But before doing that, we need to call our layers the right way. If not, then we get confused and it's not good, you know? Like it's not good. Let's call this the top. Let's call this the frame. It's just good. You name it once and then you can reuse those names and it's good, you know? Door. This is a door knob. Oh, I remember the name of it. It's a knob. And then door, indent. I'm trying to name them. I'm not doing a good job, but I'm trying. It's all about the intention, okay? So, okay, now we have our door. That's our first door. Now let's create another variant. So, because like not all doors are made the same, you know? So we want to have give the ability for people to just use different doors. They want a round door? Let's do a round door. You know what? What about this same door, but with a little window? Yeah, you want with a little window here? Let's add a little window. I don't know why I find that funny. Now let's go ahead and you know what? The feel of it, it's going to be a dark slate because it's inside. And now let's see, this should be 48. Let's do it 48. Let's align it to the center. It's floating, it's pinned to the top. Let's see, 1, 2, 16 pixels, beautiful. Now I'm going to duplicate this little dude and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And to make it bigger, I'm just going to say 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Y muy bien, qué bonito. And let's change the fill of it. By the way, both of these should have a stroke. And let's keep the orange one. Let's keep it orange. Let's keep it 4 pixels and let's put it in the center. And this dude should have, instead of slate, it should have an orange frame, you know, like the same color as this frame. And you know what? Let's make this a little bit smaller. There you go. Let's center it. We centered it. It looks nice. Now we want to add some depth to this window. Wow, this, I don't know if I like it now. Yeah, maybe the frame is not as big, you know. Now we need to add a little bit of depth to it, and we do it by duplicating this dude. Let's 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's put it behind, and there you go. It has a little bit of depth. I don't know if I'm liking it. This is kind of not great. Let's make it smaller. I think it's just that it's too big. And 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. Y 1, 2. Muy bonito, qué bonito. Let's put this window in the center. Let's align it 12 pixels there. There you go. Hey, there you go. It's a little window. Maybe there shouldn't be as deep. I don't know why I want. Anyway, let's keep it as that for now. Yeah, I guess the problem is this. I think, yeah, just simple. Keep it simple, Pablo. Why do we gotta complicate stuff? So let's keep it simple. Let's 1, 2, 3, 4. Vámonos para arriba. Let's duplicate this dude. Let's 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. It has some depth. Maybe it should be an indent instead of a depth. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's put this at like this. Now, I think I'm just going to remove this. This is already looking good. That's nice. That's already good, Pablo. Leave it as that. It has a window, and if you don't like it, we can change it later. So, by the way, now we have our variants, but we want to be able to just like put like the frame, like shape. So the shape of these two, it's squarish. So I'm just going to say square, and this is, sorry, but this is also square. Square, but this one has a different thing, and it has add a new property, and it's going to say window, yay or nay, and by default it's nope, and this one is going to say yep. So there you go. So now this guy, I can say yep or nope. Yep or nope. And actually, why? No. No. And this is going to say yes. Oh, there you go. It's so weird. See, now it turns it into a switch. There's some keywords that Figma accepts to turn into a switch, yes or no. So on and off, I'm pretty sure that would have worked, or yes or no. Okay, because I like the switch, you know, on and off. And let's reset size, on and off. Well, reset all overrides, on and off. There you go. Okay, this is a very basic door. I'm pretty sure that we can do something more fun. Let's do one where the shape of it is actually round. So now let's use the same thing, and let's add some corner radius to it. You know, 80 pixels here, and let's do the same here. 80 pixels, 80 pixels, and this dude should be like around maybe this size, and on top. And you know what? I'm just going to say the whole thing, 80 pixels. There you go. There you go. And now we have a door. We have a door with around size. Now, doors usually have the knob a little bit. Let's put it, should we put it in the center? No, I think it should be lower. Yeah, because you want to grab it, yeah, it's lower. So I'm going to just, where was it? There you go. And I'm going to move all of these just a little bit lower. 1, 2. There you go. And now I can move the window a little bit lower too. Nice. Now let's duplicate this dude, and let's call this, the window is yes. And let's paste the window. By the way, this layer should be called window, and it shouldn't be a group. Ni hablar, mujer. And that's it. We started. We got one door, one of the elements of this whole system. But this will allow us, again, once you do it once, that's it, baby. And then if you want to, now we have a pretty good design system. So if, for example, if I wanted them in a different color, I can go over here, and easily here, instead of orange, I can say this is going to be a yellow door. Just go from orange to yellow using the same tone. So from 400 orange to 400 yellow, it'll 800 orange to 800 yellow, and what else? Orange 500 to yellow 500. Look at that. Mamma mia, Dios Diosito santo, qué bonito. So there you go. Now, really easily, we'll be able to just adjust the size of these little guys. I don't know if I'm liking this. This is not great. I think this should be less. Or more? Yeah, it should actually be more. Yeah, I'm realizing that. So this should be 88. 88. 88. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. Now let's see if let's resize them. Actually, let's test that, and let's turn off the window on these. Turn it off. There you go. And now let's compare. Let's duplicate and let's test. Let's test the size of it. Do they stay the same size? Do they stay nice and beautiful? Mamma mia, bonito, precioso. Qué bonito. I don't know. This makes me so happy. Like being able to do this and know that I'll be able to just like create a giant door or a small door and it's gonna work. Okay, cool. We have our examples. Now let's go ahead and create a window. We're going to need a window. What do you call this? A front wall and a roof. Once we have those three elements more, we'll be able to create one building, and that's going to be the goal for today. Okay, so let's create one window, just one window. Pablo, can you do that? Can you do that, Pablo? Let's remove that little guy and let's create a window. You know what? You're going to be like, what are you doing, Pablo? I'm just going to reuse this stuff because you know what? A lot of the stuff here is already a window. What is the size of this? This is 8 pixels. Is this also 8 pixels? This is also 8 pixels. Yeah, so, and now this, instead of orange, we're going to turn it into slate, like inside. Look at that, we got a window. Now, we want the window with a frame. And you know what? I feel like the window needs to be just a little bit thicker. Just a little bit thicker. There you go. And you know what? The frame of the window needs to... I'm realizing what is going on. Why it looks so wrong. Yeah. Would you look at that? And now let's resize this to the size of our components. But this is something that... There you go. Bonito, precioso. Now, this is a very boring window. It is a window. But we wanted, something that I really like about windows is like how, well, they have frames. I'm looking at a window right here and I'm trying to realize what makes a window a window. And I think we want a frame inside. And also sometimes there's something outside that allows you to put a plant, just like a little like exterior thingy. So exterior thingy, that's the technical name for it. I don't know if you know that, but that's how they're called, the exterior thingies. Let's put a frame here. Let's start with that. And I'm going to copy the style of this dude. Let's paste the style of that dude. Let's go to Command Y just to see that everything is pixel perfect. La perfección del pixel. And let's, around there, yeah, 8 pixels. Let's go here. O algo viejo que vendan. Now, this instead of, 32. Let's make it 24. Let's center it again. We cut at the windows. And now we want to duplicate this guy. Let's resize this on those, and that's Command E, just so we can do this. And let's, well, first of all, let me duplicate this guy. Let's put it behind here, and let's make it a little bit lighter. Let's put it behind this, and then these two are going to get joined. What's going on? Why is it not good? Oh, because this is 16 and this is 24, and usually we want it to be the same size as the frame, or not wider than the frame. So let's center this again. Boom, boom, arribotota. Now, this one it's 8 pixels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 8 pixels is good. There you go. We got a window. So now we gotta make sure that this window resizes the right way. Not great. Let's turn it into, let's call it windows. Let's turn it into a component. Let's duplicate this guy. Let's resize it and see what it's going on. Well, pretty easy. It's just like we need to pin it everywhere. Or not? Is that not what we want? No, we want it to be center here and pin to the right too. And this guy needs to be center here and pin to the top and bottom. That is what we want. This guy, we need it to be center and pin to the left and to the right. We got it. Now, if we resize this, la 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 la. It always looks good. It always looks nice. Now let's add another variant to this guy. Let's do a round one. Round windows, like circular windows. And I'm trying to see if we can just reuse the same shape. I believe we can. I believe that we can. And to do this, I think what we need to do is add a ton of corner radius. A ton. So let's do 800. It's a ton. Oh, well, this doesn't work, right? Unless, what if we do this? We'll want it to pin to the bottom too. Now, I'm just like trying to understand what needs to be done. And I think I know what needs to be done. First of all, we need to duplicate this dude. 1, 2. There you go. And then this guy is going to be the same as this. Let's see if it works. It works. It works. Now, this is not great. You see what's going on? Let's see if we add corner radius and that will help. It kind of helps. Not perfect. It kind of does the trick. Not perfect, but it does the trick. Just a little bit. I don't know if I'm a big fan of it. Let's see. It should be... No. You know what? I feel like this needs to have some corner radius here. Let's just put 2 pixels. Just a little bit softer, you know? You know what? Another thing that I'm forgetting is that everything needs to have round corners. Everything. When I say everything, I mean everything. And that's going to make things a little bit softer. And you know what? I'm going to just do the same with all of this. And I'm just going to command and select all these dudes. And I'm going to say, not sharp corners. I want them to be a little bit softer. There you go. So now let's duplicate this guy and let's see what happens with our round thingies. They look nice. Let's see what if it's 300 by 300, 1 by 1 unit. And if it's circular, it kind of works. Doesn't work though. Not great. Not great. What is going on? I just need to do a circular one. That's what's going on. But for now, this is going to be a semicircular. And let's go to Windows and let's add the property, call it shape. And this one is going to be called rectangular. And this one is going to be called oval. And we're going to need one that is circle, specifically circle. But we'll do that later. We'll do that in another stream, or, well, I'm not streaming, so people don't see how I mess up. And we have a window. We have the first version of the window. It could be improved. We can improve it later. So our system is coming together, baby. It is coming together. And you know what? The next thing, I'm not going to do it in a blind. I'm going to actually do it in context. So I'm going to just put a window here and a door here. Wow, the window is really big in comparison to the door. Well, it's okay. Yeah, because I made it pretty much the same size. You know what we need? Well, we're going to need a lot of variants for our windows. We might need a window that doesn't have the cross in the middle. I'm just going to duplicate this variant, and I'm going to say that this one doesn't have all this stuff. That stuff does not exist. So we need another property. So another property, add new property, and this property is going to be, I don't know what you call this, the cross in the center, and this is going to say no, and this is going to say it's going to be called yes, and this is also going to be called yes, and this shape is rectangular. So that way I can turn it on and off here. La, 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 la. Let's turn it off for now. Let's make our door a little bit taller. Let's put this window here. Let's shift A. Let's go with 32 pixels between the elements. And now we can start building our wall. So let's build the elements of a wall. Well, it's just, well, you would say, Pablo, that's it. You got a wall. But no, there's some elements to it that make it look special. For example, we want the little thing on the bottom. What do you call this thing? The thing in the bottom, Pablo. That's how you call it. A little thing in the bottom. So okay, and let's change this to, maybe let's do it stone. Just a light stone, and maybe this one is a little bit lighter. There you go. Let's add or stroke is going to be stone 2. Just make it a little bit strong, and let's put it in the center. It's 4 pixels. We got the walls. Now let's center all of this stuff. Well, I thought it was still an auto layout. Apparently it's not. Let's center all these dudes. There you go. And now I'm going to actually duplicate this. 8 pixels up. And then see how it has a little bit of depth. And then, you know what? The torch should be just a little tiny bit. Let's remove the frame. It should be just a tiny bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just a tiny bit outside, because the frame isn't... You know what I'm saying? I think I know what I'm saying. Yeah, but no. Hold on. Oh, I'm realizing that the door is going to need a little bit of depth here too. Let's see if that helps. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Huh. Huh. Let's duplicate this guy. And this should cut everything. We're playing with fire here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's cut this. Oh, no. We don't need 1, 2, 3, 4. We need to cut the whole thing. And subtract. And now we don't need this. Goodbye. We don't need that anymore. There you go. That's what was weird here. I felt like something was weird. That's perfect. Okay. Oh, now let's see how it looks over here. Well, I didn't do it for all of them. Let me actually duplicate this guy, and let's put the window on it. And let's remove this dude, and let's say that this does have a window. So now let's use the door. uh, 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 uh. And you know what? We also need the size of this to be, you're going to like this, to be here, right there. That's where the edge of the door should be. Here, the same. This is the edge of the door. So now, when I align it to the bottom of this, it looks just a little bit outside. Creates a little bit of depth. Is this the right thing? I don't know. And now we can make it a little bit taller. Look, would you look at that? Would you look at that? Un, dos, un, dos. And then let's make these just a little bit smaller. I think I'm making them too big. And let's align to the top. Bellissimo. Precioso. Hermoso. Let's go with this just a little bit lighter. And, okay, I'm liking this so far. This is looking good. Okay, let's keep going. Now this should be a little bit lighter. Let's go with 100. And is this 200? Yeah. So it is a little bit lighter, creates a little bit of depth. I like it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, not great. But maybe that's all I need. Yeah, I think that's all I need. I don't need a lot of depth on there because it's just like really. Anyway, okay, cool. Now these windows look really deep. Yeah, in comparison to the door, these windows are super deep. Oh man, am I going to fix this? Am I going to fix it now? I'll fix it later. No, I should fix this. Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to fix it here with this one because this one has, yeah. And yeah, so yeah, that much better. And 1, 2, 3, 4. No, this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. And yeah, now this is also 1, 2, 3, 4. This should be just like that. It doesn't need to be that deep. There you go. Okay. Okay. And now we need this to be 16. Perfecto. This like that. And let's see. 16. There you go. I think that's much better. Let's resize this to the size of this container. And now let's duplicate this dude. What's going on? Let's add an auto layout. And let's duplicate this dude. There you go. And now let's remove the things in the center. The cross. Jesus Christ. There you go. And now this should be yes, no. And we don't need you anymore. And reset to default. There you go. And we turn it off. Command, paste, remove this and this. I like it. Okay, that's a little bit better. Now I'll be honest. This, the color of this, it's everything is orange, and then suddenly you put stone. Yeah, let's replace these colors. I'm going to say that instead of no, let's keep it as that, and then I'll keep it flexible so so I can change it in context. And but usually you want elements to have good defaults, Pablo. So I'll change it. For now, let's just keep it as this. Perfect. And this, instead of stone, is going to be also orange. Don't hate me. Everything is orange, Pablo? Yeah. And this should also be orangey. And now this, instead of stone, it should also be orangey. There you go. Okay, cool. So we have we have a wall, and now I'm going to I'm going to turn this into a component. Create a component. Let's call it wall. Well, and well, let's duplicate it, and I want to select this guy, and this is my main component. So I'm going to put my main component over here. And honestly, like walls, they don't need to be that big, but let's keep the height just a good default. Okay, so that's enough. Let's divide this in 8. 208 divided by 8, that's 26. So 26 by 8, 208. Okay, we already had it. And now the height of it. Now, okay, before we do that, we need to pin these dudes. These dudes should be pinned to the bottom, and they should be to the left and to the right. The same with this guy. This guy needs to be pinned everywhere, left and right, top and bottom. So now when we resize this, the thingy in the bottom stays the same height. There you go. Okay, that was important. Why? Because now I want to change the height of this to be divided by 8. That is not great. So let's go with 38 by 8. There you go. Now, let's align this to the bottom of it. Now we can resize it just a tiny bit wider. And we have our first front porch. Now we can do stuff like this, where it's like, hey, it's a big house. I don't know. And this is only 4 pixels here. Let's say there's only 4 pixels here, 40 pixels here. 1, 2, 3. There you go. So this, it's 40 and 40. Perfect. So that's one type of building, but I can do one where I only need this, so I can just resize this to be also 40 pixels. There you go. Slate, let's keep it slate. Orange to blue, orange 300 to blue 300, orange 500 to what? What do you say? A blue 500. There you go. Now we have a very blue, a very blue house. Yeah, you know what? Like, yeah, this needs to be. This 700 needs to be 800. I'm sorry, baby. It needs to be darker. And then these guys. Yeah, like whether I'm using 700 needs to change to 800, baby. 800, baby. Boom. And that's the power of using a system. Now, the cool thing is that I'm pretty sure that the colors should remain. Oh, no, but not for all the elements. Well, we can change them. It's okay. It's good. We can do this. Boom. And then this orange 400, we can change it to blue 400. I should have done that in the beginning. Like do it with this variation already. So now we can turn it on and off. On and off. And let's do the same with all of these. 1, 2. And goodbye. And goodbye. Why? Why are you doing that, Pablo? Because then if I change the color in this one, it changes the color of the variant too. Okay, we got the front. Let's work on a ceiling. Just one simple ceiling. And you know what? I'm going to work in one simple ceiling of this. Just this one. And I'm going to see, like one of the variances said, like, does it have or does it not have an air conditioner? It's going to be nice. So we want our ceiling. Let's do it in context again. We want our ceiling to be just, again, just like this. Let's make this potentially 40 pixels, 40 pixels. Now let's duplicate this guy and let's 20 by 8 and by 4. There you go. And now let's duplicate this guy and let's remove 40 plus 40 minus 80 here, minus 80, and also here minus 80. And now let's center it. La la la. You're pretty confused, I'm pretty sure. Let's put this so you can see what's going on. So I'm just creating the border around it, and it's always going to be 80 pixels apparently. That's like the thickness of the border around it, the height and the thickness. So because this is 80 pixels, oh no, 40 pixels. Yeah, and then here it's also 40 pixels. And now if we want to, we can also just say, yo, this also 40 pixels height. And that will create that depth that we need. Maravilloso. And now let's use a slate on this one. What about using, well, stone? Let's use a stone. And let's use this as our base. And let's add a stroke that is also stone at 800. Let's use 800 for strokes always. That's our system, baby. And let's put the 4 pixels here. Let's do it in the center. Let's always use round corners. And let's see what we got. Beautiful. Now we want this to be a little bit lighter. Just a little bit lighter. This one should also be a little bit lighter. And, well, we got a visitor here. Hello. And we got this. Now, what else do we need? We got it. That's it. Now we can add our air conditioner too. Let's add it at the end. No, actually, let's add it right now. Everybody say hi to Mila. Mila. And let's copy this style. I'm going to paste it over here. And this is going to be our air conditioner unit. And maybe it's also 80 pixels, 40 pixels high. No, it should be a little bit taller if we wanted to look like it's a little bit outside. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, it's okay. It's just like, it needs to be taller than this, right? Too. And there you go. 32, 32. 32, 32, 32. And now this can be 40 pixels and it can be 8 pixels like that. And let's go with a lighter color on this. Let's go here, and then this can be also stone, but it could be like this color. Let's go even lighter. Lighter. Like that, and then this can be, instead of 100, 200. There you go. Now, another thing that we want, just to give it some kind of just depth, we need shadows with it, right? And I don't know if this is going to be part of the system. Let's try it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, not exactly what I wanted. Let's duplicate this guy. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And now let's remove this. Let's give it the shadow effect. Let's put it behind. And now let's see what happens. Well, actually, no, we want it to be, this to this is only, it should be 8 pixels. We want it to be 8 pixels here, and it's 8 pixels here. No. 1, 2. Let's this also 1, 2. And by the way, this guy, let's make it closer to this. And now this should be, well, the roof should be grouped more than anything first. And now this guy goes here, okay? And there you go, 8 pixels and 8 pixels. We got this. This guy needs a little circle here. You know? Do you know? Because I know. Do you know? Let's copy the style of this. Let's paste the style here. And 12 pixels separation. I think 12 pixels should be enough. 1, 2. And the width of it should be 44 too. Let's put it again like this. And for now, I'm just going to leave it like that. It's not perfect. It's not beautiful, but it does the trick. All of these, and let's put this inside here. This should be AC. AC. Oh, sorry. Now let's see. Is this all a group? Yeah. Now I want this, my group, to be the size of this. The shadow should be separate. Let's call this shadow, actually. Shadow. And let's name our stuff. Well, let's do it later. For now, let's call this roof. And it's a pretty boring look roof for now. It's going to need some shadowing, you know. Like, for example, this needs a little bit of shadow here, but we'll add that later. All those details are going to be added later. For now, we just want the system stuff. So let's turn this into a component. Pow! We got our first roof component, but does it work? Let's duplicate it and let's see. Does it stretch? It doesn't even stretch. It doesn't do nothing. So what's going on? What's going on, Pablo? First of all, our AC needs to be, let me actually resize it so we get the idea. First, our AC needs to be pinned to the top and left and right, right? Now, all of these guys, this guy and this guy, let's pin it everywhere. And let's pin this guy to the bottom and also to the right. There you go. Let's do the same with this bottom and also to the right. Let's do this. I think it should be pinned everywhere. Yeah. And then this guy should be pinned to the top and to the right. And then something's going on. Something fishy. Where's this guy? Is the last rectangle. We don't even need that rectangle. That rectangle was not needed. Okay. We got it. So now let's resize this. There you go, baby. There you go. Now let's add a variant. And first property is going to be shape of it. And first of all, it's just going to be called, what is it called? Rectangular. Boring. Boring. It's going to be called the boring one. And let's add a new property and add new property. And this is going to be AC. And this is going to be, by default, it's going to say yes. And you can turn it off, you know. And no. So this one is going to be no. And this one is going to be yes. By default, it does have a switch, but you could turn it on and off. Does it have an AC? Yay or nay? I'm liking this. I'm actually liking this. I'm actually enjoying this. You know, sometimes I don't enjoy stuff. This one I am enjoying, and that's good. Try to find the stuff that makes you feel good inside, warm and fuzzy inside. And then you'll be happy. Is that the source of happiness? I don't know. Because, I mean, it doesn't have to be work. For me, it's a lot of the times is what you will call work. But I don't call it work. I call it creating, making stuff. But a lot of the times, that is just work, Pablo. Gotta admit that that's just work. Okay. You know what? I feel like the insides should be a different color. Don't you think so? Just to make it less boring. But no, it's the same material. Anyway, we got our roofs, and our roofs are on fire. That's a reference from the 90s, from a song that nobody understands, because I'm sure that you're like, we're not, we're not as old as you, Pablo. So this is how you create. There you go, baby. I don't like this. This should be a little bit darker. There you go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now I like it. Let's add a shadow. Come on, Pablo, you can do this. You can just add a shadow. It's okay. Nobody's gonna be hurt if you just add a little bit of shadow. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's put it all the way to the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's turn it into shadow effect. The shadow, no stroke. Now we got some depth there. Maybe not the best, but it's something. Effect. So maybe that's what we want. So we want the effect that is called shadow, and now it puts it almost like just like a shadow effect. I don't know if I like this. I feel like it should be flat. That's going to be, it's always good to know what the rules are. And I think the rules of my world is that stuff is flat. There's no gradients in this world. I think you need to set the rules. Once you set the rules, it's easier to implement stuff, like this. And you say, no. There's no blur. It's just hard, cold shadows on those. And then if you're consistent with those things, then it looks nice. Things are like, maybe they're not too what do you call it, like too complicated, but if you're consistent with your shadowing and all that stuff and your lights, then they look nice to the eye. The eye doesn't, things don't jump to you, or it's like, hey, it doesn't look quite right. Anyway, oh, by the way, like maybe we want to add the idea here is that now roofs can have, like, I would create different types of roofs. For example, one that is just like different woods, that is just like or just like, what do you call it? Like, I don't know what you call it. But different types of roofs that we can create. The one that is going to be interesting is just creating triangular roofs like this for triangular houses. And yeah, so far so good. It's just the beginning of this. It's starting to look like Christmas. Let's go to share the screen and see what you guys are writing. Hey, Paulo, learn Sketch on this channel, and now I'm a UX designer. Thank you for everything. Hey, that's so cool, Paul. Hobbit Hole. Oops. It's reminding me of most. You're right. Hi from Peru. Hola, Tino. Do you have a standing desk? I do have a standing desk, and it can go up and down. It's a little control here that goes up and down. Would be a problem if 8 by 8 doesn't scale nicely into 300 by 300. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't scale that great. It's a whole house, art on the wall too. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for being here. I think we accomplished our goal of just like starting our system, and our system has 4 buildings. It has walls. It has roofs. It has windows, and it has doors. And once you start putting them together, you can start creating buildings. Now, we are going to need more variants of these, and that will allow us to just create really cool stuff. Just like, hey, when you combine this and this and this and this, you're going to create really, really cool looking buildings that are not just, they all look the same. They have some different traits and combinations. Thank you so much. Do you have a sentence? Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. It's always nice to just like jump on a live stream and explain my process. Like I think it's kind of a therapy for myself, just talking to myself. You can see me talking and just like questioning a lot of the things that I do. I think it's So thank you for helping me uh, deal with my emotions, I guess. And this is the last stream of the year, uh, and it's been a wonderful year. Hopefully, it's been a year full of surprises, and I'm grateful for everything. I'm grateful for you being here. I'm grateful for the community. I'm grateful for my family and my mom. Mom, you're there. For everyone who has, I don't know, I just feel lucky. Just like having an audience, having a team. I don't know what I'm doing, that sometimes it's just, I don't know, I'm lucky, and I'm grateful for everything, and hoping you have an amazing 2022, and yeah, excited for all the stuff that we're going to be doing together. Okay, so I'm going to end it there. I'm getting too sentimental. uh, Love you. I hope you're having a great time, and see you on the 2022s. Okay, bye bye. Let's stop the stream. End stream.